Hello. Hello, everyone. I felt called to go live today. So I decided to go live, especially because the update that I was playing is over. So now I can focus on tarot because I did everything that I did, and I am very happy. I've been very happy lately. I've been feeling very soft and safe. Um, and that's always nice. Hope everyone is doing also soft and safe. Let me see. I keep hearing general advancements, like general advancements or advancements. So let me see what that's about. Maybe some of you guys have made personal advancements on a certain area or a certain situation. Okay. It looks like you guys are going to have or you're having realizations about yourself that you didn't previously have before, but now you are kind of having it because there are things that are being shown to you or shown around you, or it's almost like you had a certain epiphany where you were like, aha, and um you are making the necessary advancements or preparation. uh for some of you guys, actually, I'm hearing that some of you guys are going through an initiation of some kind. Not talking about cults, by the way. We do not support cults in this household. Nah, I am a cult survivor, so nope. Um, but this is like initiation of like magic, you know, or like maybe you are into witchcraft and you're getting initiated. All right, let me see. What is this about? It doesn't really even. Okay, Queen of Wands in reverse. Okay. I'm just going to proceed like normal and just take the meaning and not the signifier. Um, Actually, interestingly enough, for some of you guys, you could be working with Queen Lilith, because Queen of Wands is my signifier for Queen Lilith. Or you could be working with like the divine feminine archetype, like um, like the embodiment of the divine feminine. You could be working with. Um, Inanna is also coming through actually. For some of you guys could be into Santeria, and you could work with Santa Muerte. Always make sure that you're doing the right research and you are respecting the culture behind it, because as far as I recall, I think Santeria is a closed practice. So always make sure vetting for one, and two, make sure that you are not talking to a trickster spirit. Alrighty. With the Six of Wands, yeah, it's giving like a lot of fire. Maybe you could be working with the fire element. Maybe she could be like giving you access to working with fire elementals of some kind. Um, this also talks about self-empowerment. And I keep seeing somebody like public speaking or like advocating for other people's um ooh, for some of you guys, you could have been advocating for women's rights, or just in general femininity, you know? Okay, hold on. Let me tap into this more. Now I'm curious. Maybe just embracing, your inner feminine, feeling more comfortable. Also, non-gender specific, because I use he him pronouns, and I am pretty sure I am transmasc. So whenever I talk about like energies and stuff like that, it doesn't necessarily mean that, you have to be a specific gender. You could literally be any pronoun, any person, you know. We're all inclusive here, so always feel free and safe to assume that I don't mean a specific gender. Okay. With the Eight of Cups, honestly, I'm seeing the card and I'm kind of like, maybe some of you guys like to do um like like a way of Pacific protests where it's like you like to like do marching with like, because I'm seeing also like the signs and the like the cardboards that people do. So you could be feeling called to doing that, to dedicate yourself to that, mixed with like an element of magic, where it's like maybe you could veil for other people that are in that movement. Maybe you could do protection spells, glamour magic. Ooh, yeah, no, glamour magic is coming through pretty strongly. Oh shit. I said I wasn't gonna get political. You know what? This is humanity. This is not, like, at this point, whatever comes out will come out as long as it doesn't put me in any, like, immediate danger, but that's what I'm seeing right now. Like, the divine feminine right now is reaching a limit where it's like, okay, well, I'm not feeling listened to, I'm not feeling advocated, I'm not feeling supported, I'm gonna get my shit done. That's what this is giving. Like, I'm gonna get stuff done. And this is happening, like, collectively, like, all around the world. Like, you see it in people expressing themselves through art, you see it in people expressing themselves through their clothing, the way that they are. And here's the thing, this is kind of inevitable. Like, this is something that will just happen because we've been sitting in an energy dominated by toxic masculinity as an energy, and like, we be tired, you know? We be tired. And there needs to be balancing out, you know? Like, fairness, softness, whimsicality. Okay, with the judgment, holy, yeah. And this is gonna be loud. This is gonna be loud and everywhere. Okay. Because it's almost like, because if you guys know the Lightseer deck, and you can even like look it up and check for the Judgment card, you see she's like praying upwards, and she has like this energetic version of herself. Like, it's like like it feels like a liberation of some kind. Um and like, yeah, this can be stalled, and this can be like, you can put obstacles or whatever, but this can't be stopped. This is like, ooh, especially with all the shifts that's going on, with all the like fiery energy. I did say fire in the beginning actually of this rating, but with all the fiery energy and everything that's like coming out with the wands and everything, um, yeah, this is like, this is pretty big. This is huge. Also, please don't never confuse Judgment with Judgment Day. Nobody truly ever knows when Judgment Day is going to even happen, or if it's even going to happen, because a lot of those things are indoctrination, unfortunately. So I will never say anything like that. So please, like, I'm just going out of my way to explain that it feels like judgment in the sense for all the people that have been perpetrating the energy, you know, like being harmful, doing things that they know they shouldn't be doing, knowing that, for because I keep hearing like somebody be like, I got away with it, I got away with it, and it's like, nope, no you didn't, no you didn't, you were just, ooh, I'm hearing Death Row by, I think it's by Rihanna. Okay. Well, damn. I don't want to tap into anything too serious, so placing that boundary really quickly. Thank you. Alrighty. But alright. Give me more information, Spirit. I feel like for a lot, it's like this retreatment where it's like, if we can't do this, then I'm just gonna retreat my energy entirely. I'm just gonna call my energy to myself. I'm just gonna stay to myself. I'm gonna work on myself. I'm gonna do my things. And this can also be like in a general position where people are realizing collectively that it's not worth it to overexert yourself for places and people that don't really see your value. It's not worth it. Maybe you could even be like a tarot reader like I am, and you could be like giving all sorts of actually insightful knowledge that is very useful, but because you are, because I keep hearing like there could be some kind of discrimination going on too in the field. I'm so sorry to hear that. That's what's coming through though. Um, 1 second. Alright. What else, Spirit? Oh yeah. There's a sense of duality because I do believe that everybody has both energies, and I believe that there's even more than just two energies. Because like everything is such a spectrum that energetically there is no way that there's just like, like the traditional masculine and feminine energies. Like I believe that there's more. I believe that maybe just because we haven't really talked about it out there in like popular media outlets, or just because it hasn't become mainstream doesn't mean that there isn't more. I am seeing something to do with like animals. Like, ooh, this actually could be about Therians actually. Um Maybe you could be a Therian, or somebody in the collective could be a Therian. You could identify with that label because, and full disclaimer, this is a page that am not tolerant of Therian hate. I believe that as long as you're not hurting anybody or yourself, then you can just have fun. And the concept of Therians are people that feel spiritually inclined to that animal and just wear animal masks and run like animals. That's literally all it is. Like, it's not something to be ashamed of. It's not something to be embarrassed about. Like, be yourself. Like, as long as you're doing things legally and you are doing things that are, reasonable and okay, that's okay. Like, be yourself and never allow for people to make you feel like you are ridiculous or that you're embarrassing just because you're expressing yourself. I think that's why, in all honesty, I think that's why the furry community and the LGBTQ community are so closely linked together, because we've all just learned to kind of like have to mask, because fursuiting is like a form of like, okay, so I'm going to wear this because I feel like this is something where I can be myself, be me, do my own things. Um, it's the same thing with Therians, and I think that instead of dividing one another and going up against each other's throats, I really do feel like we should be supporting one another as communities, because when it all boils down to it, we're all marginalized communities. And I feel, and I feel called to say this, which is why I'm saying it, that there's a reason why furries and Therians were being targeted a couple months ago, because the way this community has been so united and so like adamant about being protective and being who you are and being yourself authentically. Same with the LGBTQ community. Like, yeah, we have our hiccups here and there can be infighting. Um, but that doesn't mean that we're not all fighting for a common cause, you know? Like, I feel like eventually it comes a point, and I feel like this is me channeling, where we're all, as communities, going to be like, wait a second, why are we fighting? Why are we fighting? You know, like, we're gonna have, like, that kind of wake-up call, and it's gonna be like, ooh, I can't say what I was gonna say, cause, yeah, but, hold on. Because it has to do with the 1%, and I don't feel like disappearing, unfortunately. So, alrighty. Because I was saying on my other reading, on my last reading, that whimsical and joy is resistance during a time of harshness and during a time of darkness. Because do you know how powerful it is to be going through absolute hell, absolute darkness, and still be able to laugh and smile and find joy in the little things? And like being like, because essentially when we're going through what we're going through collectively is we're breaking out of this paradigm that they had us under. Hello, welcome to the stream. Welcome to the stream, Pufferfish Leo. Aw, I love pufferfish, they're so cute. Is there anything I can help you with today? I'm just giving a general channeled reading, but you can go ahead and ask a question and I'd be more than happy. Generally, because I don't have that many people in my streams yet, I am being more generous and answering more than one question. So if you would like to, I'd be more than happy to give you more than one question. That's kind of the vibes. Until then, I will keep. Yay! Well, go ahead and ask your question, and I will answer it. But I do see, like, as I was saying before, oh, what would be good? It can be anything except for, like, health readings. I don't do health readings or things that have to do with, somebody passing or anything. That's personal. Ooh, anything about love? Of course. I'd be more than happy. Alright. Alright, let's see. Spirit, what do you have for Leo? On the love department? Let's see. Alrighty. Ooh, Four of Pentacles. Let's see. Alright, so I do see here, you're kind of seeking, like, a stable kind of love that, where you feel, where you feel like it's, you feel like you're secure. You want kind of like the soft love that is like, yes, this is where I feel right at home. This is where I feel safe. This is where I feel where I can invest all of my energy into, that like kind of checks all of your boxes, but you're kind of keeping to yourself until you find that kind of um soft love, or that community to, right. um all right, with the Four of Pentacles, I do see that love has been trying to kind of like ease into your life, but I feel like sometimes we focus so much on the things that happened in the past, or we focus so much on the things that hurt us previously, that we're not fully seeing. And that's okay, because I don't want to like invalidate your grief or your trauma that you had in the past by any means. But I do feel that it has been trying to like be there for you. Like there, like spirit is basically like, in an energetic sense, it's what's coming through for me, because it's like you've been kind of so, it's almost like, because you're, maybe you have a specific idea of what love should be, kind of like tunnel vision, where it's like, oh, this is how love should look like for me, so this is what I want. And so the love that you seek is trying to find you, but because you have this specific idea on how love should be, it's kind of like, okay, we're trying to give you it, but it's because I do see a bit of stubbornness on your end. I'm so sorry. My cards can be blunt sometimes. That is why I try and filter sometimes. But you have been manifesting, and the universe has been hearing you out. It's just kind of like you need to open your perception, and like what I'm hearing specifically is open to avenues where you didn't like where it's like, I don't know if this could work for me, or what if this happens, if, yeah. And that's okay, a lot of it comes from like the past wounds, past traumas, past anxieties, um past experiences. It doesn't even really have to do with love, even. It could be like how you were brought up, in your childhood, where it's like you learned how love should look like from your parents. So then, because you have a specific, or even like it, because I will share an example that happened to me personally. I used to be so into like Disney movies, and like how love should look like on the movies, and like it's a little bit more complicated than that in real life, because you have to remember that with movies, it's like there's like a beginning, there is the middle part, the conflict, and then there's an ending, and we never really truly see what the the life of the life as a whole for them is like. So it's like that's basically what I'm trying to like emphasize, but super duper important. I'm not talking about accepting abusive behavior or hurtful behavior. No, none of that, because no, we don't want that in this house. Absolutely not. If somebody is hurting you, or causing you pain and fear and stress, that is not love or tough love. No, no, no. But it definitely there's like a sense of um discontentment or disconnection. It could be within the self with like inner child wounds, things that I do see that you, because I keep seeing somebody like pouting and or pacing too, where it's like you go back and forth in your mind about um like, oh, but like, am I really like good enough for this, or am I good enough for this person? um so there's where that feeling comfortable within yourself is coming from. Not to say that you have to fully learn to love yourself before you can love someone else, because that in itself is a non-healthy idea. Like, it's good to love ourselves, but we can definitely learn to love ourselves through someone else. Like, as we're both, you're in a commitment, and you are learning what the other person likes, what they don't like, what you like. Alrighty. We love to see it. Yeah, I definitely do feel there's a lot of emphasis on letting go of unrealistic expectations when it comes to like love. It could be tied like financial matters. It doesn't have to be, but it's almost like because you have this idea that, oh, this is how this person is going to show up for me. You're kind of in like, because don't get me wrong, manifesting is awesome. Manifesting is great, but it can be a lot harder if you manifest a very specific scenario. Like, what I like to do when manifesting is like, okay, I want these things, but I'm not going to say how I'm going to get these things. Or at the very least, I'm going to say, as long as it brings harm to nobody, as long as nobody is affected, then I would like for this specific thing. So as to not mess with like free will and stuff like that, or like the person's personal agency or boundaries. So I do feel like there is love for you, um, but it'll show up when you least expect it and when you let go. So you should be manifesting multiple outcomes. I feel that you should be receptive to um it's like as long as it's something that's for my highest good, and as long as it's something that brings harm to nobody, then I am open to receiving. And once you fully open yourself up to the opportunity of receiving without expectation, boom, that's when it happens. Alrighty, let's see. Is there anything else that you would like to know, or like, is there a specific thing that you have in mind? Because I do see that there's love around you. Like, there's somebody around you that's interested in you. Could be somebody that you have mutual interests with. Like, you are in a community with mutual interests. Maybe you guys share a hobby like art. I do see that there Like I was saying, like open yourself up to outcomes, to good outcomes, to neutral outcomes, and you will. You think you may know the person. Because there's this element of, I keep thinking about the red string theory and how like people, like you, because you might have, I'm not saying that this is your specific scenario, it could be, you've kind of been having suspicion. Oh my gosh. Because it's kind of giving you met through art, through like, and you could also be like, as you said, I have suspicion, I got the high priestess. Yeah, you might know it intuitively. You like, your intuition might be telling you. Where it's like, maybe you could have met through creativity, or through like a show of some kind, or you have a show in common that you like, so you talk about it and you share that special interest together. Right. What else, Spirit? What else should they know? There is like something about lions. Lions and sheep might be significant. You guys could have met when you were going through a transitional period. Like you were going through something that was really like, it shook up your world. Um, and you were going through a really hard situation, and this person kind of appeared for you. If not, it could very well be future energy as well. Also, that is a really pretty name. Very unique. Nice. Again, with the transitional period, like there was a lot of change going on for you during that time, and this was kind of like, so, like a being guided through this hard time. Because with the high priestess and like all the wands, it made me think that there was some kind of like, take this with a very grain of salt, because again, just because there is a connection between two people, free will plays a huge part. But there might be soulmate type of energy going on here, where it's like a connection that you guys might have shared before, and you could have felt like you knew this person, or you could have had like you talk to them and you just kind of hit it off instantly, type of thing. Like there's that familiarity going on. Or it also means that you could share, like I was saying before, you share a lot of you share a lot of like um similarities also with your interests, because you guys share like similarities within childhood, where it's like you know what it feels like to go through specific things. And even if this person hasn't told you, like I went through this too, it's almost kind of like, because I fully believe that when people go through the same things, um oh, I'm so sorry. Yeah, that ties to the you feeling afraid, and like you keep yourself from, because of past, like growing up and stuff, like your upbringing, uh you struggle. But there is similarities, there is parallels going on here with like things that happen to them and things that happen to you. I'm not going to tap into this person specifically because they are not here, and I don't have their explicit consent, sorry, um to do that. So I'm not going to tap into that. But on your end, um there seems to be that kinship, that familiarity, And I'm not really getting any harmful vibes or anything from this because I'm not getting any cards that indicate something being wrong. In fact, I think that this person kind of grounds you and like calms you down whenever you're feeling like stressed out. I would much rather if, like, if like she herself gave me her consent to tap into her energy, So, um, that is a boundary that I'm placing. But I can absolutely read like the energy around you. I just can't read into her. Um, and I'm doing this because unfortunately I've had situations where people have told me like, "Oh yeah, no, they're fine with it," and they have not been fine with it. Alrighty. Alrighty, thank you so much for understanding. Um, well, I'm going to go back to reading for you, and thank you for being so kind. Alrighty. Yeah. And it does seem like you have been burnt out too. If not in love, in your job in general, like you've been feeling pretty burnt out, and I feel like the fact that they're there kind of brings you back to a more tranquil state where it's like, okay, well, yeah, I'm going through this, but at least this person is here. Um, and there is a lot of unrest specifically tied to the past where it's like, I don't know if these things that I already lived and experienced will be repeating themselves again. And the thing is, when we're afraid that things might repeat themselves, because unfortunately, a lot of the time, there can be similar situations that wound up happening, unfortunately, to no fault of anybody. Oh, oh, that's so cute, actually. Oh, I did get that sense through the cards, but to no one's fault of their own, Um, it just, things kind of do sometimes repeat themselves, but the difference now, with you being grown up, and you being an adult, it's that you now have the autonomy to make your own decisions. You now have the knowledge from that past experience to be able to better handle similar situations that come your way. And like, it's perfectly fine to feel scared. It's perfectly fine to be, because it's human emotions. Everybody experiences fear, especially when it comes to love, because unfortunately we as a society have grown with very unfair expectations and unrealistic standards, especially nowadays where it's like, where there's a lot of like misogyny, and people are saying like a man should never cry. Um, a woman should do this, and it's like no, no. As long as it brings harm to nobody, and as long as you're living authentically in your truth, we are allowed to choose what brings us happiness, what brings us calm, what makes us feel safe. And I'm not particularly getting that the situation will repeat itself again, but your guides are definitely coming through and saying that if it were to happen, you would know how to manage it, because the difference back then is that you didn't have the knowledge on how to maneuver through this situation. So now, if the situation were to repeat itself, and that's only saying if, you know what to look out for, because it's going to start to feel similar to the thing that hurt you. So you're going to be like, hey, I've seen this pattern before. No way. You know? Or you're going to find resources and things to be able to help you. To be able to be like, no, I don't want this. As always, being emotionally safe, and being like, because there is this sense of kind of detachment. You could struggle with some kind of avoidance when it comes to love and emotions in general, where it's like, I don't want to look at it, like, because it's like you fear the depth of the emotions. So you're just kind of like, if I detach myself from this thing, then I'm gonna be okay. And there's nothing wrong with that. Um, but at the same time, there needs to be some form of acknowledgement that you are not only hurting yourself, but you are priving yourself from experiencing life. Like experiencing, because there will always be painful moments. There will always be moments that are scary. There will always be good moments. There will always be soft moments. But if you stay where you're at forever, you're never gonna like fully see. It's like the saying that goes, "You miss every opportunity that you don't take." Ooh, the song Glassman is coming through for me. Mr. Glassman. It's a really good song. You should definitely check it out. Yeah, with the sun card. Because the thing is, sometimes, yeah, there seems to be like some sort of duality with you, where it's like you go back and forth with yourself, where it's like, where it's like, yeah, I really want this opportunity, but if I go for this, it's gonna like there it's like an internal type of battle going on. Where it's like, I really want this, but and sometimes you talk yourself out of genuinely good opportunities because of this fear that you have. Because don't get me wrong, it's perfectly fine to want to be safe. It's perfectly fine to have self-preservation, because if we just went and went like, oh yeah, no, I'm definitely gonna walk into like this pitfall and just fall and get spikes. No, that's not good either. The thing is, there needs to be some level of discernment to be like, is this is this actually like, is this person legitimately giving me signs that they are not trustworthy? I'm so sorry. I definitely do understand where you're coming from, especially when it comes to like difficult situations going on, like giving yourself blindly to somebody and then that person like hurting you, and then just that completely shifts your perspective depending on how things ended and how it happened. No, there's definitely soulmate energy in the cards because I got the Two of Cups, I got the Two of Wands, um, I also got the Six of Cups. So it could also usually that's an indicator that it's like past life soulmates. But always do remember and absolutely take this reading with a grain of salt. Um, and do remember that just because you have a connection, like they could be your soulmate, they could be a divine partnership. However, if they don't do the work or you don't do the work, that don't mean that it's set in stone because um the universe as a whole will not give us opportunities where they know that we're gonna get incredibly thrown off of our path. Like, I have the belief that we are where we need to be. Oh my gosh. No. Don't tell them to kick rocks. You just kind of made me think of like when you go to a lake and you throw the rocks and they do like the little skipping, the hopping, like throwing the rocks and they hop on the water. Oh, that's cute. It depends on. Yeah. No, I could tell that. I could tell that because it was really silly. But what was I saying? I forgot. No, I forgot what I was saying. Um, hold on. Oh yeah, no. The thing where it's like because sometimes we will have opportunities to connect with one person on an on a very special level. However, if they're not doing the work or like say for example it was you in the situation, to make sure that the relationship is stable and healthy and balanced, um things can be subjected to change cuz free will in people's lives do matter. Like if a person's like, "Hey, actually I thought that this was what I wanted, but this actually turned out to be completely different than what I was going for, and I don't want this anymore." And vice versa, they can be like, "Actually, this turned out something that I thought I wanted, but I didn't anymore." That can change. You are not because you may sometimes struggle with like the fear of being trapped in a bad situation, in a bad love situation. So they're like reminding you that like your choices do matter, like if you don't want something, that's okay. Like you can perfectly keep to yourself. Oh my gosh, that is so cool. Skydiving instructor? Oh my gosh. That is so cool. I could never jump off of a plane, but that is so cool. Absolutely. If you feel called to it, go for it. If you feel called to dedicate yourself to that, if that's something that you have the means for and you know that it's like something that you're passionate about. Okay, what else, Spirit? Is there anything else that there would like to be reminding of? Or okay. Remember to nurture yourself. Nurture your own needs. What makes you happy, what makes you comfortable. Like, sometimes give yourself good things because you deserve good things. You know, give yourself some luxuries. Because I'm hearing specifically, sometimes you also talk yourself out of giving yourself certain, like maybe you want to buy yourself like a snack, or maybe you want to buy yourself something that's like in the luxury department, and you're just like, eh. And it's like, no, like absolutely buy yourself that ice cream. Absolutely buy yourself um I'm thinking, hold on, cuz I'm seeing stuff. Give me 1 second. Buy yourself a Lego set if you like Legos, if it's like one of your hobbies. That could also be related to the inner child thing, where it's like, allow yourself time for yourself, like to de-stress, for you to rest. Yeah, like maybe invest in hobbies that make you happy. First and foremost, look after yourself before anyone else, because I used to be the type of person that I would put my needs um below others, and that was a really really bad decision on my end, because you should be like, your priority should be yourself and then other people. So like, if you feel like you want to get yourself something nice, maybe like even buy yourself, like go to the movies and buy yourself merchandise related to your favorite movie, related to your favorite shows. If you have the expenses, don't feel this sense, don't get tied to a sense of obligation that because I have to do these things, then I can't give myself good things. Again, with the release things that other people have forced down on you. Alrighty, is there anything else, or is that it, Spirit? Let me see. Is there anything else? Okay. Alright, so definitely, again, nurturing yourself. Don't feel like you have to do things out of obligation. There's always choices. You can always say, hey, I don't like this. Hey, I actually was thinking of spending this day to myself. Um, don't lose yourself on other people. Even though, like, because we can love our friends, we can love the people that we hang around, but ultimately, you are your own priority, you know? Try to avoid falling into any kind of addictive behavior. Um, Gambling. I'm hearing specifically, be very careful about gambling. Or like, maybe not even, like, actually gambling, but, like, gambling your money, you know? Okay, then That could be a future warning, or it could just be like I said, don't gamble your money or your time. Oh, yeah, yeah. Be very careful about that. Be very careful about that for sure. Cause okay, this is so curious because I was talking with one of my friends about the stock market and saying like, dude, I feel like there's something that's gonna go down in the stock market. And now you're here and you're telling me this and like, dude, okay, be so careful. Be so careful right now. Be so careful right now. Oh my gosh. Like if you know what you're doing, there's absolutely no need to worry, which I am sure that you do. But like because I was having that conversation, I feel like something in the market's gonna drop or something. And I don't know. Just putting it out there. Take it with a grain of salt, of course, but um just bringing that, you know, just in case. Alrighty. I don't really I'm not really getting any more cards, so I feel like that's about it. I do hope that you enjoyed this reading, and I do hope that it brought you clarity and not like confusion or anything. Because that's basically what my readings are for. So I do hope that it could be useful in some way. And as always have a nice day, you know? Of course! Of course! I love what I do. I am literally doing this out of the love for it. Alrighty. Alrighty then. I will continue to do. Wait, how much time has passed? Oh, only an hour. Dang, it felt more than an hour for a bit there. Me when I'm a medium and my perception of time gets warped because I'm a medium. Okay. Alrighty. Well, so I was talking in the beginning about collectively cards said take care of myself first and tell soulmate to kick rocks. Oh my gosh. Yeah, go throw rocks in a pond and watch them like hop in the water. Take care of yourself, okay? Alrighty. Alright, as I was saying, collectively I feel like the divine feminine in general, it's almost like this energy of like I am fed up. I cannot put up with this no more. And we're gonna start seeing like a lot of shifts, mainly in the way that we communicate and the way that we articulate ourselves emotionally is it's what's coming through. Um, how how like with all the societal standards and also the like beauty standards seem to be very significant too, because I was talking in the beginning about glamour magic and about how that's going to be a lot more significant. I feel I have to wonder, and do take this with a grain of salt, I have to wonder if there's going to be a shift in fashion and something to do with modeling, because I am hearing like the shutter of the cameras and like modeling. Um, there's definitely a lot of things that have to be kind of restructured when it comes to like the modeling department, because if you know anything that goes down in places like beauty pageants and modeling and fashion, like I feel like if anything, I do kind of get this feeling that we're going to be seeing a lot of androgyny being more uh popular. like androgyny being more celebrated, being like, hey, because you know how I said about like it's not just masculine, not just feminine. Like there's more to the spectrum when it comes to like gender identity, when it comes to like energy in general. Like we're gonna be tapping more into that, you know? We're gonna be tapping more into different shades of different things. So very exciting. Love that. Um Super duper excited for what's coming for the future because not gonna lie, I was freaking out for a little bit. With things related to certain people in power because if you know, you know. If you know me, you know personally, like you're in my friend circle, you know, I've been vocal, but I kind of had seen a lot of things like years before they actually happened, and it started. I started freaking out because I was like, no, these things are true. Then that means that this is also true, and I like okay, and then I realized like, hey, if this is true, then that means that what's awaiting us in the future is actually more positive than we anticipated. And the thing with energy and things happening around us is there needs to be chaos first for everything that doesn't serve us to get out of the way first. And then there's gonna be like, you know, the change, the positive outcomes, the energy, you know. We are definitely stepping into an era where things that we thought were okay, things that we thought were the norm, uh, it's gonna be like, hey, actually, this is horrible, and we need to, like, reevaluate this thing that we thought was actually the norm. Um, and like I said, there is no stopping this. This is just gonna happen. This is just because anyone that does energy can tell you that there is always balance. There can be chaos for a certain degree of time. There can be order for a certain degree of time, but ultimately the natural state of everything is balance. And you see it a lot with like, you know, like momentum. You see it in the physics department. You see it in science where it's like, you know, neutral is the normal state of being. So that'll be really relevant. Actually, can I be so real? I have no idea what I'm talking about, but it's making sense somewhat. So I'm putting it out. I'm putting it out there because I don't have like a physics major or anything, and I'm actually really bad at like math and stuff like that. So I have no idea what I'm actually talking about, but it'll make sense, I'm sure. Um, but yeah. Ooh, with temperance, yeah, definitely. Again, with like the balancing out, the things becoming a lot more. It's almost like one scale was tipped all the way down, and then they go nope, and they tip the other scale, and then that scale goes up, 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 and then it's like balanced. There's like a karmic balancing going on. It's just all over, like around the world, because oh yeah, Queen of Cups, especially with like femininity and how, because the way softness has been treated in general has been horrible. We ostracize people that lead with softness, with kindness, and like we'll often. I say we, but I don't say that, so I don't know. But um, as a collective, we will ostracize people that lead with love, with their heart, and people usually go like, this happened to you because you're soft. This happened to you because you needed tough love. This happened to you because you were too giving. And home slice, let me just go ahead and hold your hand when I say this. Why are we blaming people for being kind and giving and nurturing, but we're not holding the abusers responsible? Like, why are we shaming people for being naive, shaming people for being kind, shaming people for giving second chances, or shaming people for just giving the benefit of the doubt, and not shaming the people that take advantage? And that's what's going to change, for sure. Because if you ever felt like you are a very sensitive individual, very soft spoken, um, and you felt as if though, like, cause you're like, I don't feel like I fit in here. I feel like this is too much. This is too overwhelming. It's because you are meant to pave the way for a for this like for like, because, and this doesn't mean that you have the world on your shoulders. Don't get me wrong, because we're all a collective for a reason. We're all in this for a reason. But those people that lead with love, lead with emotional intelligence, lead with curiosity, with whimsicality, are going to be the ones to step up and be like, this is how we did things before. We're not doing these things anymore. And whether this opposite energy, this opposition wants it or not, this shift is going to happen. Because in order for there to be change, there needs to be a reestablishing of the way that things have been for a very long time. Alrighty. Me when I'm just a little guy. Okay. Alrighty. The world. Yeah, see how I was saying like this was collective and like all around the world. You may actually start seeing these things in social media, because it's like we are being presented with newer energies collectively to be able to step out of the energy of struggling and having to struggle and settle for things that don't bring us peace and clarity and comfort. And we got the soft divine masculine energy. We love to see it. I love the Emperor card when it's upright because it means, cuz like I was talking about this with one of my friends actually, where it was like, I don't like this idea that um either feminine or masculine, feminine being like also very authoritarian and very basically like replicating everything that the toxic masculinity has been doing, because that's not good either. Like what we're going after is like balance and like fairness, you know? Not this like I'm above you kind of energy. Like that, no. Because that is social hierarchy, and social hierarchies are toxic. And we don't want that. Because nobody is better than anybody, you know? Like, nobody is superior. to anybody morally, or like even in positions of power, because, and I've always said this, people in positions of power have been very cocky, because just because you have all of this, you have money, you have prestige, you have the means, you have the media, that don't mean that you're not just a person. You breathe too. You have oxygen. You rely on oxygen. You age. So I don't know. I think that we kind of need to like reevaluate that for a second, Nobody is too powerful. Nobody. Um yeah, the wheel of fortune, like karmic balancing, karmic law. You remember how I said before I took my break that a lot of people in positions of power that have been abusing that position of power would be getting called out, would be getting their shit rocked? Why do you think it's happening? Because no matter, it doesn't matter if they have or don't have spiritual links, spiritual connections, physical connections. Karmic law is, nobody is above karmic law. Nobody. Um, just the entities that specialize in it, but they still abide by those rules. And that's kind of the awakening, the rude awakening. Because, and it depends on, what people have done, because there's always spectrums. If you did good, you'll get good. If you did bad, that's what you'll get. And if you did neutral things, you'll get neutral things in return. That's just how it is. It's kind of like when you pay for your taxes. Like, what you give is what you get. Something about tax returns. I know who this is for. I know who this is for. If you know, you know. um, but yeah. The King of Pentacles. Wait, hold on a second. Is this Hades? Give me 1 second. This could be Hades. If you resonate with the King of Pentacles being Hades, and the Queen of Pentacles being Yep. I I cannot make this up. I wish I had a camera so I could have. The King and the Queen of Pentacles showed up for me right now. Holy crap! I love reading tarot so much. I love being a medium. We love to see it. Let's go. Oh, oh. Hold on. Holding. Hold on. I'm gonna keep that to myself. I'm gonna keep that to myself. And I'm gonna let it play out. And I'm gonna see how this plays out. Oh my god, I'm so excited. I'm so excited. This is so cute. I'm so excited, and I just can't hide it. I know, I want you. Oh my god, hold on. Sorry. That was a bit personal for me, but at the same time, it's like around the world also, and I'm very excited about it. But I will keep it to myself for now. Alrighty. The Hangman. Oh, bro. Okay. there's confirmation for the tax return thing at least. Okay, wait, so we got. All right, let me see. The tower. Let's freaking go. We love tower energy in this house. You know, you hang out with a best friend that is tower energy, and you start to vibe in it kind of because it's like, you know what? Shit's always gonna hit the fan anyway, so might as well write it out, you know? So, oh my god. I'm sorry. Bro. Yippee. Oh, hold on. Okay, so we got the King of Wands in reverse. You could be working with King Asmodeus. You don't have to be. You could be a fire sign, Aries, Leo, or Sagittarius. Or you could be. Oh, you remember the leadership position that I was um mentioning earlier? Yeah, a lot of people are going to be stripped off from their leadership positions, especially, well, like if you've been doing good things with with your leadership position, with your like promotions, if you've been, this could also be about a person in the job situation abusing their power, like being tyrannical in like employment, um and there's gonna be some sort of evidence that's gonna come to light, um and it's gonna be from like somebody that they least expect to. It's gonna be from somebody that they thought was pretty close, but in reality this person had kind of had like a resentment for this person the whole time, and it malicious compliance is coming through. Malicious compliance is coming through. Okay, I see what this is. Hold on. Alrighty. I did pick up on that last time. The sun card. Okay. Apollo. Apollo. Hello. Hello. Hello, Mr. Chicken. I call Apollo Mr. Chicken because Apollo in Spanish, pollo. So I call him Mr. Chicken. We love to see him. Hello. With the Three of Cups, yeah. This could be related to a group of people. Like there could be a group of people involved in this. Or you could have been unrightfully ostracized from a group of people. Because this person made up so much shit about you that wasn't actually true. And evidence is gonna come to light about the situation. And with the tower, this person is fucked. This person is done. I'm so sorry. Like, I'm also hearing that they they feel this coming too. Like they feel it in like their gut. Like they're like, and it manifests in them being jumpier and then like snapping at people at random, and like people around them are like, yo, what the fuck, like what's going on with you, like what's the deal, what's the haps, what's your major. That's what that's coming through. um okay, this is good if this person was absolutely horrible to you, because we don't stand for that in this house. Alrighty. Alright, yeah. And it's really sad because this person is gonna, like, kind of ask you for help regarding the situation. Or if this is a work situation, they're gonna, like, try and see if you could, like, if you, like, let's say, for example, you are going to HR with evidence about what this person did to you, and then HR, it's like, okay, just hand over the evidence and we'll deal with this person respectfully. So this person could be trying to like kind of like level with you, like, hey, let's talk about this. Let's oh, for some someone out there, hush money could be involved in this, where it's like, if you don't say anything, we're gonna pay you this amount of money. And then this person's like, or I'll give you this, or like, and this other person is like, nah, I think I'm good. I don't need your money. Like, because you could already be like very well made, very well, like self-taught, self-made for yourself, have a name for yourself. So you're like, no, I don't want your money, actually. The Ace of Pentacles. Oh my god. Yeah. It's like they're gonna be like, here, have this. Or like they could be going to multiple people, and then people are like, actually, I do not want this. I do not want the because it's almost like people can feel the dishonesty behind this offer, behind this like um because it does come with strings attached. Because if you look up the card from my Lightseer deck, there is a pentacle, like like there's a holding of the pentacle, and they are like it's tied between the hands, so there's definitely more than meets the eye. And some people can't like aren't aware, but they feel it, like they feel like something's wrong. Because for somebody, some of these people could be spiritual or could be newly getting into spirituality, and their guides are like, no, 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 pay attention, pay attention, like, look, like, and like they're getting signs and synchronicities in the physical that, like, hey, like, maybe they could be getting stopped at the way to work, maybe they could be getting songs on the radio. um like, oh my god, you know what song is coming through right now? um I got a bad feeling about you, bad feeling, bad feeling. That song. Like, for some of you guys, your guides could be writing like, I was gonna say ratting, but I was gonna righting the wrongs. Also, I mixed it up with. So your guides could be working overtime to make sure that this person knows that they're not getting away with this. Because this could be a person that's used to getting away with things or prides themselves with getting away with things. And this time your guides are like, actually, here's a new one for you, buddy. um so for some of you guys, the saying how you lose them is how you get them, or how you get them is how you lose them. I always say the sayings upside down. What's up with that? Hello, Loki. I clocked your energy. Hello. Yeah. Again with the three of cups, and there being like a group of some kind. Um because for some of you guys, only if you resonate with this. Please never, like I said, I am never a fearmonger. I am never somebody that wants to instill any kind of especially if you struggle with OCD, because I myself struggle with OCD, very severe OCD as a matter of fact. And so I don't want anybody else to basically experience the same thing that I experience in spaces, but um these people could have been sending you stuff like as a group, like sending like with the belief that they were right about what they were doing. Um, because like when we think that we're doing the right thing, unfortunately, especially when it's like in a group setting of people, unfortunately, you wind up doing a very wrong thing. And I feel like that's the kind of thing that's going on right now, where it's like this group setting where it's like this person's kind of like, no, but they're doing all of these things, and like like kind of like inciting, or making people feel nervous, and you're not actually even doing anything towards this person. Like, you're just out here vibing, and then this person's like, no, but I know that's what they're doing, because it's like kind of like the reverse psychology, where it's like, because they are doing it, they think you're doing it. All right. And that's why I have wards. And it also could be that like you have protection wards set up, and because this people are sending you evil eye or sending you like bad intention and shit, it's hitting them because it's like, your wards are doing your thing, and then they're like thinking of like retaliating because their own energy fucking hit them. Oh my god. This is really funny. I'm sorry. Yeah, we got the Page of Pentacles. So this is definitely somebody that is like very new to spirituality and very new to witchcraft. Okay, so this is actually kind of cute, honestly, because this person is so new to spirituality and so new to like magic and everything. Obviously, when somebody does something that like you don't have very much knowledge about, you like, for example, when you're starting out a new job, you wouldn't be harsh on the new kid, because it's like they don't even have the right information. They don't even, you don't even know what you're doing. So it's like, spiritually, it's almost like they're being put in air jail, kind of, where it's like, no, um, or it could also be that instead of this energy actually hitting you, it's um it's being transmuted for your own benefit, so you can make money, so you can get the bag. um I would advise, honestly, and this is kind of making me want to like get rid of my baneful words and just having like reflective words, because I do have baneful words on, because if this resonates for me, I don't want somebody young to get like royally screwed over. So um kind of makes me want to like put up reflective words, but that's it. Hold on. So maybe just do protection spells. Do protection spells, up your protections, because it doesn't mean that they're not doing any harm. But you also have to consider, we were all there at some point. Like, we all started out, um, like, especially when you think you're doing something for a good cause, or when you think you're doing something to protect somebody else. Like, because this could be somebody in a position of authority telling this person what they should be doing, um and they're going off of the information that this person is giving them, instead of actually seeing the full scope of the situation. Because, like, obviously when you trust somebody, and like they have that position of power, you're like, okay, well, I can trust you with this information that you've been giving me. Therefore, I don't have to worry about anything. But the thing is, um, I don't feel like this person has all the information. I don't feel that this person has all the facts about the situation. And this person is actually banking on this other person not knowing the full situation, the full information. So, yeah, I can be lenient about this. I can be lenient about this, yes. No worries. I can be soft and silly about this. Alrighty. Eight of Wands. Yeah, I don't feel like with Eight of Wands in reverse, I don't feel like this is actually hitting you. I feel like you're being told that this is happening, but it's not actually hitting you. Like it's not going to be something that's going to mess up your entire career or your financial situation. A matter of fact, I feel like this is the type of energy that wants you to feel insecure. Because if you are insecure, if you are um doubting yourself, questioning your capacity to be able to do things, to be able to handle situations, then you know, if you don't feel secure within yourself, then everything else kind of crumbles, even if the magic itself isn't really that strong. So, it's kind of like the saying because I'm kind of like I'm seeing a tree, the strongest tree stands firm. Like the deeper the roots, the firmer the tree. So if you are very sure of who you are within yourself, within your inner world, within like your morals, your values, then nothing that this person is doing can affect you. And it shouldn't affect you. But if you feel called to do protections, if you feel called to do divination, yep, divination words, heard. Um, so that this, because I am seeing people kind of prying into like your future, where it's like, so like if you have a relationship, like when are they gonna break up? Do you see like them breaking up? Do you see like them like approaching me? Um, and it's like, first of all, that's none of your business. Um, all right, let's see. Because it's fine if you want to look into your own energy, your own energy and how to maneuver through a situation that's difficult for you and how but the moment that you start prying at things that you know you shouldn't be prying at, that is usually why divination wards get set off. Because you should not and do not have any business prying into other people's lives, especially if you don't have access. Because you don't have access for a reason, so you therefore should not be prying with divination. That is wrong. Alrighty. Seven of Pentacles. Let's go. Okay, so remember the root thing that I was talking about? Again, roots are being significant here. The more you are rooted in the belief in yourself and who you are and where you came from and what your objectives are, and honestly, just focusing on yourself, like focus on your bag, focus on the things that you have going on for yourself, focus on building a better future for yourself. And if this doesn't have to do with job related in general, um, this could also be like, you just taking time and space away to work on yourself and your healing. Doing shadow work could be significant for some of you. You guys could have a whole book dedicated for shadow work with like questions and prompts. I'm definitely seeing that. Um, for some of you guys, you could be interested in leaning into learning about herbalism, learning about the properties of herbs, learning how to apply it in kitchen magic, learning how to use it to benefit. Because remember, herbs and things that have to do with earth have a lot of things connected to money, like basil. Basil is very good for manifesting money. So, if you feel called to add more basil in your food, absolutely do. If you're feeling called to kitchen magic and you feel that you feel like, throwing in just, or even just burning the basil leaf, like writing, maybe write like, oh, I want $50, and then burning the basil, and next thing you receive the $50. So, actually, I might actually do that because there's something I've been wanting for a long time, so I think I'm going to do that too. I do have basil in my kitchen, so yippee! Or spaghetti with basil on it, or rosemary. Somebody here could be named Rosemary or Rose. Something to do with just the herb. Um, Mother Mary could also be significant for some of you, like the what you call it, because Mary Magdalene and Mother Mary, I think, were different figures. So do take with that what you will. But that could be significant for some of you. Some of you could be making, or you could be actually selling custom rosary beads, like for different deities. That's really cool. I think I've seen some of those on TikTok before. So maybe if this resonates with somebody out there. Um, but definitely do light up some rosemary, or light up some, even like adding it to your bath, your showers. To like be more in tune with nature, be more connected to nature. Because some of you guys could be earth signs. You don't have to be though. Or you could just be connected with nature in general. Like the moment you set foot outside and like sit under a tree, or like meditate in a place where there's a lot of trees, or like a forest of some kind, that could really help you out and really ground you. Alrighty. Is there anything else that you want to tell Spirit? Yeah. Be very careful about biases at this time. Be very careful with the information. Again, with the collective energy as a whole, because I feel like what I tapped into was very specific, but it could also resonate for a lot of people right now. But be very careful of the trueness of the information that you're receiving, because it does, especially right now out there with so much stuff related to artificial intelligence, and how easy it is to fake, actually, like to fake things that aren't actually happening. Be very careful about that, because there's some things related to that that will be coming to light actually. Um, because we're already seeing kind of artificial intelligence popping, so we're definitely going to be getting more confirmation about that with the Seven of Swords. In the Seven of Swords, on my Lightseer deck, there's like a man, and there's like a group of crows following him. A murder of crows. Dude, isn't that so cool? I love crows so much because like that's so cool. And like they're so silly. Have you seen how silly they are? Whenever they're like you feed one crow and like their entire family lineage will just be like, thank you so much. You have fed me on Friday, 20th of April at exactly 12 a.m., and therefore I shall remember you. They're so silly. I love crows. I'm being shown. Oh my god! Oh my god! Mr. Chicken. Apollo. Apollo loves crows. Okay. I'm seeing the Hold on. I'm seeing the an image of, or not an image, but a video of this man that actually trained a crow to find random money and like send it to him. Yeah, that could be relevant for some of you. You might have stumbled across it, and now you're watching this, you know. But I am seeing that some kind of deception is going to be brought to light soon regarding this. Whatever this has to do with AI or like things like that, you know. Specifically because nothing dishonest lasts forever, you know? Nothing that, like, you might carry that deception for a long time, but eventually, everything comes out because it's like I was talking about earlier. It's that karmic balancing, you know, that like when things are made wrong, when you are doing the wrong things. Um, I feel like to an extent that is also just common sense that if you do bad, you receive bad, you know? Um, so take this with a grain of salt, but also be very discerning and very careful about information, not only globally, but also like this could also be the case where it's like applying to like a specific person's case. So I'm just bringing that to light. Okay. All right. Doopy doopy doo. For some of you guys, cockatiels could be significant because I'm seeing that one cockatiel that goes dippy dippy doo. I don't know if you guys have seen it, but I recommend it. She's so cute. I love her. Every time she comes up on my FYP, it makes my day so much better. Like I could be having a horrible day, and then that cockatiel just shows up on my FYP, and everything is great. She's so cute. Alrighty, yeah. Alrighty, let me get Oracle advice, and I feel like I should I should close up the reading because I've said everything I needed to say, I feel. Unless there's more that they want me to tap into, because it usually ends up being the case that I'll be like, I'm hopping off for now. Also, something that I did notice, the other reading, um, I forgot to unmute myself, and I just ended the live. But I was gonna talk about 144 on the clock. That is my divine number. Okay. Let's see. You mess with the bull, you mess with the horns. Oh, damn. Someone getting their shit rocked for sure. Have faith in your dreams. Okay, so, alright. So some of you guys could have been having dreams regarding this situation or regarding this specific thing. And they're like, yes, yes. Look at the bigger picture. So we have waxing crescent moon and we have full moon in Sagittarius. Look at the bigger picture. Look at the bigger picture. Look at the bigger picture. Thank you. This has been a public service announcement. Yeah. Alright. Hold your vision and emotions are running high. Alright. So I feel like with have faith in your dreams and look at the bigger picture, you've been getting dreams about this very specific situation and like they're telling you to like you're spot on. But like there are things in your earthly little like surrounding that you're not quite aware of. And that's what they're asking for you to kind of bring awareness to, where it's like, look at how what you do in the physical is affecting this in general. These things that you see in your dreams. Look at how that's affecting what you like. This. Like, hold your vision. Okay. Alrighty, what else, Spirit? What do you need to release? Yeah. Alright, so this could happen during a supermoon. I have no idea if there's gonna be a supermoon this year or not, or like if it's because like I never fully know. Like I can have an inkling and I can say like, hey, there's gonna be maybe an eclipse, maybe, but it doesn't unless it happens. Then I have no idea because I am not an astrologer actually. Like I know very little about astrology, and I was actually thinking of deconstructing astrology. So um again, look at the bigger picture. Look at the bigger picture. I am looking at you. Look at the bigger picture. Full moon in Sagittarius. Look at the bigger picture. Sorry. I have to be very clear, but there's a reason for that. There's a reason for that. It's just okay. There's somebody here that's very stubborn. Very stubborn. And I need to be very clear. Okay. Anyways. Take time to breathe out. And it's time to take action. Okay. I'm sorry. Um Okay, with full moon in Aries, alright, and disseminating moon, it's time to breathe out and it's time to take action. So there might be a need for you to kind of, like I said, I've already repeated it many times, but calm down. Calm down. Sit down. Drink water. Relax. Relax. Please. Thank you. And, just, okay. More, please. Your commitment is being tested. Yeah. And meditate and contemplate. Thank you, Spirit. Thank you, Spirit. Thank you, Spirit. See? Relax. Alright. So, you're kind of in this space where you're wondering like, but where is X and Y and where is this and why hasn't this happened and why, and it's like, again, reevaluate and contemplate and analyze your surroundings, the way you're doing things, the way in which you are operating from. Are you operating from a place of ego or are you operating from a place of love, of authenticity? And it can be very hard because we need to kind of be honest with ourselves and sit down and be like, okay, I guess this thing where like, how I was coming from, um, oh my god, not my internet cutting out. Hold on. Hello, interference much? I will eat this interference, actually. What do you mean my thing just completely dropped? Hold on, let me look into that. Let me tap into that. Was this intentional? Was this interference? Evens for interference, odds for intentional. I'm gonna evens for interference, odds for intentional. Okay. Hold on. Okay, K's are evens. So the King of Swords is even. And another one. Intentional or... Oh, okay. This was intentional. Okay. Ugh. No, okay, what does this mean? I am being given mixed signals! Stop! Oh my god. Ugh. I am so frustrated. This is what I have to deal with. This is what I have to deal with because, don't get me wrong, I be knowing, but guys, hold on. I'm about to bicker with my spirit team. Give me 1 second. You cannot. Hold on. Okay. Because first of all, they're giving me mixed signals, and then they drop my entire deck on the ground. Hello? No, not allowed. They're giving me non-answers. They're... Ugh. I'm so frustrated. Bro. And now they're not... Well, I guess this is it, guys. They're not giving me cards anymore. They cut my internet. And they're not giving me cards anymore. Bro, this is so sad. Oh my fucking god, she fucking dead. Yeah. Yeah, it was intentional. I got the 7 of the yeah, 3, 7, 3, 9, 5. Yep. Alright, well, I'm gonna go ahead and I'm gonna be ending the live here. Gonna be bickering with my spirit team for a little bit. Always joking, never being serious, of course. But damn. Alrighty. Actually, there is one more thing I would personally like to tap into, actually. Where it's like, how to proceed with the knowledge that I'm being given now. Give me 1 second. Nothing will come out of this situation. That's always good. With nothing will come out of this situation, it means that it's also almost kind of like the 10 of swords in reverse, where it's like nothing can really get out, like nothing can really get worse than it already has. Like if shit hit the fan, it can't really get any worse unless and this is I'm being so specific because I'm being very specific because I know, but If you go out of your way to make things worse for yourself, that is not on your team. That is not on your spirit team. That is on you. That is on you. Okay? I need to be very blunt. Surrender to the divine. See? See. Hold on. Yeah. So for some of you guys, okay, you need to let go of control. Like, you need to let go of how you think certain things are gonna be playing out. You need to let go of this idea that you know everything that's going on, and that because you know everything that's going on, and because you know that, like, you think you know, um, that that's exactly how things are playing out, because that's not rooted in reality. That's rooted in fear and paranoia. And when we do things from a place of paranoia, that's why the message, look at the bigger picture. Like, there's a need to zoom out and see everything from a different perspective than you have been previously seeing that perspective from. That is why I was being so adamant and so comedically serious, because we think we know everything, and sometimes it comes from a place of having to know everything, having to kind of, you know, estimate what the fuck is going to happen next, you know? Um estimate where, like, what's the next thread going to be? Like, that's survival speaking. That's not what's actually going to happen. And like, I personally, and like, this isn't me channeling, this is just me personally, I feel that for some of you guys it would be more beneficial for you to just let go of this idea completely, let go of the idea completely, then you, like, continuously hurting yourself trying to grasp something, because it's only hurting you, especially if the other person has already kind of resignated and left it up to the universe and been like, listen, this happened, I don't know what to do with this anymore, because this situation is too messy, this situation is too complicated, I don't want to deal with this, you know? And like, it is unfair. It is unfair. But if you're self-imposing these things onto yourself, like, oh, like, oh yeah, I should hold on. Oh yeah, I should wait. Like, you are hurting yourself. That is, it hurts. It hurts. It's tough to hear. It's very blunt, and I apologize, but it's the truth. Like, especially if, because like, I was, when I was giving the reading to this person that was in the chat earlier, people have choices, people have free will, people can say, hey, I don't think this is for me, I'm gonna go the other way, I don't think I want to be involved in this, I don't think I want to go for this situation, you know? um Especially if there was a lot of things involved that were harmful for the both parties. Like, that's why, look at the bigger picture. What do you need to release? Like, surrender control. Stop being stubborn. Okay? There. Alrighty. Yeah. Don't let your past hold you back. Exactly. Like, just because certain things happen in the past doesn't mean that there's going to be a replica of the past. And just because all people are different. Like, there is nobody that is the exact copy of somebody else, unless it's like a literal twin, you know, like a literal twin of, like, the people, twins. Um, but even then, twins have their own personalities too that differentiate them from the other. And it's like, and because everyone is unique, everyone has different experiences, and classifying somebody in the same box as because I can sit here and say what this person did to me was very similar to what this person did to me, but I can't say that one person was the same as this other person. That is unfair because you are not speaking from a place of you are speaking from a place of pain, not honesty. All right. I believe this is everything that I should channel for today. I definitely did hit the 2 hour mark, and I'm gonna go get myself some water because I spoke a lot today, and I am very thirsty and very I need water. But I hope everyone has a good day. I hope everyone is doing well. Thank you so much for those that tuned into the live. Thank you so much for those that have been supporting me and have been incredible, and to my clients especially that are my regulars that have been reaching out to me. Just a reminder, I did lower my prices, and I will be updating my card pretty soon because I will be making an art card also because I will be taking art commissions for those that are interested in my art style. Unfortunately, I don't think that I will be making any VTuber models anytime soon just because this one took me so long to make. Not really, like, it took me like 3 days of working on it, but um, it's not really something I want to dedicate myself to. But if you're interested, definitely do check out my card. I will be making a post soon with my tarot prices that which I lowered, as well as with my art prices, because I will be having a section that is a pay what you want type of commission. And you, like, for example, if you give me $2, I will give you a doodle that would be based on $2 because I want to make it more accessible for people that don't really have much of the means, especially with everything that's going on globally. I want to be fair. Um, so if you are interested, please make sure to check that out. And with that being said, I hope everyone has a really nice day or night wherever it is that you're watching. And take care. Bye bye.